Are you about to rent your first home? Stay tuned because we've got the answers to the 5 most asked questions for when you're about to take the plunge. Even better news for renting newbies, we've created a renter's toolkit, which will help you find and move into your ideal pad. And it's absolutely free. Just use the link with this episode. Our advice is to create a wish list and split it into wants and needs. For instance, take a look at your budget and work out what you can afford monthly. That's your top need, while a garden, for instance, might be a want. You've got to be realistic when you're setting a budget. You need to count in food, travel, costs, bills, and in some places, you might also be paying council tax too. Our top tip is to try and save an emergency fund to give yourself a bit of a cushion in case you come across unexpected costs. Also, check to see if you're eligible for any grants or help if you claim certain benefits. When it comes to location, this can be a mix of want and need, because you might want to live in a certain area if it's convenient for work or has good public transport or a great mix of shops and entertainment or good nearby schools. But these things often mean an area is more expensive, so this is a bit of a juggle. You may need to accept a longer commute, for instance, to live in a more affordable location. And finally, how many bedrooms and bathrooms do you need? What about parking spaces or a pet-friendly home? By making a list of your wants and needs, you can be really clear with letting agents about what you're looking for. So, what are the questions you should now be asking? Who will I rent from? You're most likely to find a property in the private rental sector. These are owned by individual landlords or small-scale property management companies. You might rent directly from the landlord or through a lettings agent that the landlord uses to find tenants and often to manage the property too. It's important to know whether you'll be communicating directly with a landlord or through the lettings agent. Do check out our website and other videos on this channel because we go into detail about all the different kinds of property in the rental sector and what you need to know about each. Bad publicity about exploitative landlords naturally means you might be a bit cautious. First, you need to know that your deposit will be kept safely in a government-approved deposit scheme, so ask about that. Next, you want to be sure that your landlord or letting agent is up to date and sticking to the 160 or so pieces of rental legislation. One way to be confident is to use a PROPERTYMARK lettings agent. They're regulated, qualified agents who will ensure the property is safe, legally compliant, and suitable to rent. Do your research to get a sense of whether the asking price is right. Have a look on the property portals to get an idea of what places go for in your chosen area. Generally, similar properties will have similar monthly rentals, so be wary if you see a place advertised at a price that looks too good to be true. Because rental scams, where the so-called landlord disappears with your deposit and first month's rents, are sadly all too common. You'll need to budget for a deposit, which is usually 5 weeks' rent, sometimes an application fee, and possibly the first month's rent in advance. If the rent looks a bit high compared to others, you can certainly haggle over the cost, especially if the property has been on the market for a while. But right now, the current rental market is super competitive in most areas, with more demand than supply. So your chances of cutting a deal are slim, I'm afraid. Arm yourself with as much knowledge as you can. And I make no excuses for saying again, go and check out the Move IQ website because we really do have so many valuable features and links on there. Plus, of course, subscribe to this channel for all the latest news for tenants, new and old. See you soon.